Fields of Mistria is a brand new RPG farming and life sim that recently released into early access on Steam and quickly became a sensational hit among cozy gamers, earning thousands of positive reviews and skyrocketing to the top of the Steam charts. This $14 game adds a cute and colorful zest to the Stardew-like pixel farming sim genre with bits of magic, helping to rebuild a town after an earthquake, and impressive character relationships. Fields of Mistria works on Steam Deck, fully supports ultra-wide monitors, offers customization of controls and controller support, and has Steam Cloud for those playing on multiple devices. But the question remains, is Fields of Mistria different enough and good enough to maintain its popularity among the sea of farming and life sims? Well, I spent my own money on the game and I'm going to share my unsponsored opinion. I actually had to rewrite this review because my opinion changed significantly the more I played Fields of Mistria. So kick back with a snack, join me for a few minutes, and I'll explain everything. Here's the plot of Fields of Mistria in a nutshell. A devastating earthquake has destroyed parts of the village of Mistria. In exchange for an overgrown homestead, you agree to help restore Mistria, which involves repairing infrastructure as well as completing activities that help to level up the village. You'll also discover shrines, magical essence and spells that can enhance your abilities, 12 characters you can romance, seasons and festivals, a bit of combat in the mines, cooking, crafting, home decorating, seasonal foraging, diving, fishing, and of course, farming. You can also raise and breed animals on your farm. Currently, I just have a hen named Polly and a rooster named Pecker, but I plan to add cows and more chickens. There is a lot to like about Fields of Mistria. Despite being in early access, it's quite polished and there were no issues with performance on either computer I tested it on. The gameplay loop follows a predictable formula for a farming sim, but this lends to the nostalgia of the genre. And accompanied with the tutorials offered when new game mechanics are unlocked, Fields of Mistria is very easy to understand. And speaking of simple, I found the fishing minigame refreshingly effortless. Slap your bobber in the water and press a button to reel in the fish once you see the exclamation mark. Another mechanic that I particularly enjoy is jumping. That seems odd to mention, but many cozy sim games neglect to add this feature, and it's quite useful when you want to take shortcuts, dive for clams, or evade enemies in the mine. This brings us to the combat. There is a bit of simple sword battling required in the mine, which adds some spiciness that I enjoy. And you can buy or craft armor and use essence to level up your fighting and other skills to make this easier. This perk system is actually incredibly helpful and is truly what motivated me to keep playing in the beginning. As you complete daily activities, you'll earn essence, which you can redeem at the shrines to unlock perks for the various skills such as fishing, animal care, cooking, farming, crafting, combat, and more. The NPC characters are arguably one of the best parts of Fields of Mistria. You'll see villagers wandering everywhere. And although the dialogue can get rather wordy and could be a bit more salty and sassy if you ask me, the characters do have unique personalities and 12 of them are romanceable. Except for the ripped hottie Ulrich, who works at the blacksmith shop and probably wonders why I'm so interested in the hard metals he sells. Sorry, I got distracted. Anyhow, there is still a good variety of characters to date, although I wish they'd drop hints as to what gifts they enjoy, as I've wasted so many valuable items testing gifts on everyone. And finally, I have to mention what probably first captured your attention about Fields of Mistria, the cozy aesthetics, which are accentuated by pixel graphics and the vibrant minty green grass and pink cherry blossom trees dotting the landscape during the spring. The cute graphics also spill into the character customization, with oodles of fun options to personalize your character, and more are unlocked during gameplay. There's just so much to like and do in Fields of Mistria throughout the seasons. No doubt it's a superb value for a game that costs $14 US. And let's talk about Steam Deck performance. Although it's not verified for Steam Deck, Fields of Mistria plays just fine on Steam Deck without any modifications, and honestly was easier than expected for my old eyes to see on a tiny screen. It really enhances the coziness of the game to be able to pick up where you left off on your PC in handheld mode. And with Fields of Mistria not even being verified for Steam Deck yet, it's quite impressive. To be fair, there are some things that could be improved in Fields of Mistria, with the first being accessibility adjustments. Currently, you can only tinker with general settings and things like flashing and screen shaking, but I think the developers overlooked some key features such as combat difficulty and FPS settings, and most importantly, a time adjustment slider. Time passes like a bolt of lightning in Fields of Mistria, and this takes away from the cozy ambiance. Traveling from the mines back home takes a whole hour. I just want to slow down the day so I can relax and enjoy the scenery more. I'd also love the ability to adjust stamina. In the beginning, your stamina will drain at an insane rate from watering your crops and especially fishing. The game could certainly benefit from balancing time and stamina and adding more adaptability options within the settings. Second, I'd love an option to see the full map instead of the disconnected sections, and for the love of all things holy, add some character names to the live map. These tiny pixel faces look so similar to each other. And third, I do wish Fields of Mistria offered some grand, unique, out-of-the-box feature, like how Moonstone Island added spirit card battles and flying to discover islands, or the monster taming of Pal World. Sure, the character interactions and magic are intriguing, and fixing up the town rather than taking over Grandpa's farm is a bit of a change, but there just isn't anything overly innovative. Even adding multiplayer would help Fields of Mistria stand out further in this crowded genre. Here are my final thoughts on Fields of Mistria. In the beginning, the low stamina and rapid passage of time really zapped the joy out of the game for me, and I was honestly bored with the grind for wood and stone. But as my character leveled up and I was able to unlock skill perks, the tedious tasks were expedited and I became infatuated with exploring, gathering, crafting, questing, and personalizing my farm. I was excited to try and grow all the crops before the season changed and complete collections in the museum, and there was always something to do each day, but no pressure or time restraints on completing quests. I have a short attention span that even Stardew Valley couldn't win over, so the fact that I've persevered at Fields of Mistria is quite telling. If you're the type of gamer who enjoys cozy farming games, pixel graphics, and a nostalgic, familiar formula, but desires plenty of character customizations, a town bustling with lively villagers, and can appreciate the bit of pizzazz added with the magical spells, minor combat, and a cheerful aesthetic, then Fields of Mistria will likely fit you well. However, if you are expecting a farming sim that diverges significantly from the tried and true formula, you might feel underwhelmed. Fields of Mistria is quite similar to Stardew Valley and Harvest Moon games, which isn't a bad thing, it just doesn't have a truly innovative hook that really sets it apart. Even with this minor criticism, I still feel confident in recommending Fields of Mistria. It's cute, cozy, and a fantastic value at its current $14 price. The developers have more content planned in the updates leading to the 1.0 release, and hopefully they'll address the need for an adjustment in the time passage and offering more accessibility settings so that players can adapt the game to their mood and abilities. Nevertheless, in its current state, I rate Fields of Mistria as a 3.6 out of 4. I really like the game and feel it's absolutely worth it for people who like nostalgic farming and life sim games. It might not impress those seeking a game with a heaping helping of unique spice, but it had just enough cuteness and fun unlockable perks and items to keep me deeply entertained. It truly depends on what type of a gamer you are, but in the end, I was pleasantly surprised by Fields of Mistria and thankful I persevered through the slightly frustrating start to discover what makes it a cozy gem. So that's my unsponsored review of Fields of Mistria. Let me know in the comments what you think of the game, drop a like if you enjoyed the video, and I'll see y'all next time.